remember when I fell and I cut my leg real bad and I had to get stitches. That happened. I remember that. I got the scar still to remember that. Well, the scar is there because I believe it's there, because I can see it. Well, everything I see is illusion.
You come into this earth, you come into the bodysuit, and you have your experience from, I think Simon said, from the age 5 to 9, 10 or something, that you start to download programs. So your mom says, oh, that's the color blue. Your dad says, oh, that's the letter A. That's how you're learning because that's what they know it. So you're sitting in the car in the back seat, your dad's driving, he sees a brake light, he starts stressing out and starts swearing, and I'm picking up on that. That's how life is. That's what you're supposed to do. But now I I actually have a choice of, is the brake light really going to define all of these past emotions? Or am I going to be like, you know what? This is going to be, I'm going to just sit here, listen to my favorite song, and it will open, and trust that it will open up.
And it's the trusting.
Right.
And right. That's what my goal is. It's been my goal for myself, is to, because what do we do in that moment? You know, even though we have all this awareness and we've been waking up, it's going and trusting that is indeed the case, and letting it unfold the way you want it to unfold, and not letting it unfold the way that you are habitually addicted to the unfolding. So you, as that little girl cruising around with your dad, and he sees the brake lights, wreck traffic, guy can't drive, gonna be late. And then suddenly you're soaking it all in. Now you can go two ways with that. You could go as, the dutiful daughter and, my hero up in the front seat up there, and just follow his path. Or you can say, what the hell's his problem? What's being late anyway? Who cares? What? I don't get to play with my trucks for another
hour? I would be like, let's sing my favorite song, Daddy.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, and he's like, no, we don't have time for that. We gotta get there.
We gotta get there. I gotta worry about getting there. Meanwhile, you're sitting in traffic. You might as well get out and play hopscotch. Because
when we're young like that, we don't know any other way but what's in front of us. And like
I said, you can take that two different ways. So somebody can say, so we had somebody we were working with who, she was really having a hard time with her father. Mm. And now she's a 40-some-year-old woman, really, really, really having a hard time with her dad. And because it all goes back to, I wish my father would have been this. I wish my father would have been this. I wish my father was more caring towards me. I wish my father would have been more affectionate towards me. I wish we would have had the opportunity where he could just sit there and say he loved me and hugged me. She didn't have that. And I said, okay, so I know what you didn't get. What did he not get? And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, what was his experience of a little boy? Tell me about his experience. Well, he didn't have anything. Family was extremely poor, barely even had a roof over their head. They had no power. They were pushed all over the place because they had no control of their lives. Somebody else controlled them, told them where they could live, told them where they couldn't live, told them what they ate, what they couldn't eat. And I said, so his thing was power and control. And I said, so who is he now? She's like, he has power and control. He is a very rich man. I said, of course he's rich, because he didn't want to be poor. He heard his father, his mother not having, and he said, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to have. That was his. And then he saw his father and his mother being pushed around, and he said, no, that's not going to happen to me. I'm going to have control. And she said, yes, he's a powerful, very wealthy, powerful man. but he is not compassionate. And I said, because he didn't need to be. He had compassion in his life. He didn't have power. He didn't have wealth. So what did he create? He created his focus, bringing to him, because his energy was placed in, I am going to have, not I want to have. This is not going to happen to me. I am going to have power. I am going to have wealth. So a man like that will never own me. He will never control me. And that's exactly what he created. He wasn't looking for the compassionate part. He had it. That's yours. You want the compassionate part. And I said, so let me ask you a question. Are you compassionate? She says, oh, God, yeah. I said, well, go thank your father. Go thank your father for that. We think it has to come from him. No, he's the teacher. He's showing you, this is what I can't give you, so you're going to have to go out there and find it for yourself. He didn't say that. He showed you that by saying, no, I'm power. I am going to stand in my stoicism. I am going to have money, riches. And I said, he got that. He's going to have power. He got that. If you want that, you got to go out and get it. And I said, so maybe it's time to write a letter to your father and thank him for that. She said, my God, I've never even thought of that ever. It's just a different perspective. You're looking at it. You've been staring at it this one way. You've been staring at your father's face saying, oh my God, why can't you just love me? Why can't you just love me? Instead of just taking your focus in a broader view, and all the people behind him are the ones that can love you. He doesn't have it in him because it wasn't what was important to him.
Right.
And that is again how we use this energy, this light, so we can live this human experience. So we can go down the rabbit hole and try to untie all the knots and really understand how this is, or we can just say, okay, I get that. Now it makes sense to me. Now I have enough awareness that I'm going to make my life great.
So going back to the father growing up really poor, having nothing, he grew up being determined that it's going to be the opposite for him. So that was the one or two ways you were talking about earlier.
It's a
In
choice.
my case, I saw my parents struggle financially, and now I have the belief that that's how my life is going to be. That's how life is. So I didn't have that second choice,
right?
But he did.
And there can be so many reasons for that. But yeah, but that is, so it's a choice is what it comes down to.
Right.
Right? And it's just a choice. Now, you may have, now maybe when the father was in the womb of their mother, of his mom, maybe his mom was saying, she started to have the idea of, this just isn't right. We have to become self-sufficient. We can become self-sufficient. And that was that little bit of energy to move the needle to being powerful and wealthy. If she would have sat there and said, oh my God, we are never going to control our own lives. We are never going to have any power whatsoever. We are just sheep and we're going to lay down. Then maybe that's what pushed the needle that way. And it's which way, it really goes to which way does the needle go that determines the direction of your human experience. Right. So if I can put this in front of you, same as what was put in front of me by, the great God,
right?
Great Lord, right?
Yes, hallelujah.
The great being, right? If I can put that in front of me, and I can then look at that instead of this history that I think is real. The road that I have driven down, right? My road has been 50 some years. And I have driven this road. Oh, yeah, and this happened. And that happened. I remember when I fell and I cut my leg real bad and I had to get stitches. That happened. I remember that. I got the scar still to remember that. Well, the scar is there because I believe it's there, because I can see it. Well, everything I see is illusion. So I am creating right now. This is the time that matters. None of that existed. We believe it did. We are just experiencing right now. And if we can be, and I've heard this over and over and over and over again, Eckhart Tolle, and being in the present moment. Well, what is the present moment? The present moment is your experience right now. History, forget about it. Don't pay attention to it. Let it go. Future, what's coming, don't pay attention to it. Let that go.
It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, just it's not there. So neither one is there right now. We can agree on that. We are in this, whatever this is, this present moment. This is who we are. This is what we are. This is what we are experiencing. So let's just be here. And when we're here, you have a choice. Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be sad? Do you want to be angry? Do you want to be empowered? Do you want to be in peace? Do you want to be frustrated? You have the choice. And why do we choose frustration? Why do we choose anger? Why do we choose it? Because we have this belief that that's what is there, because we heard these voices. But they're not there now. They're just ringing in our head. And if we can get out of our heads and into our hearts, that's our job. That's my job, is to get you out of your head and into your heart.
Yeah.
For you to become the magical A word, aware.
Yeah.
If I can get you to see it differently, just so you can get the needle to move and ask a question. Oh my God, to ask a question, to sit back there and close your eyes and think, wait a minute. What if this is my reality? Sitting here, eyes, what I think are closed. What if they're really open and I'm looking out? And when I open them, I'm really looking back into my mind. And all that I see here right now, this little room, is all that exists. Everything in it I can manipulate. It doesn't stop at the end of my fingers, which I can move.
Right.
It's all a part of me. Now, suddenly, things can start showing up for you. Things can start appearing. People can, environments can, because it's just energy. And you are shifting the energy. It's our belief that we are, as you say, this body, this suit, this human flesh suit. And it stops at the end of my fingers. At the end of my skin, that's where I stop. And the outside world begins.
Yeah.
How do we know? Because if it's
Wow.
all illusion, right?
Yeah.
And then you're saying, like you said, when your dad said, oh yeah, look, that's the color blue. This is a 2. Well, you may be seeing a 2, but you may be seeing a 4. And then suddenly every time someone says 2, you see actually a 4, but you know it's a 2. It's just a directional line. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a color, blue. And so you're seeing your way.
The 2 is a 2 because that's what I was shown and taught. So
well, that's what you perceived in the moment.
Yes. And so that's what I believe.
Yeah.
So
every time someone says it's blue, then you see that. Yeah. And maybe your blue, to really take it out there, is a number. So when you say blue, what you see is a number, and I see it as a color. Because again, you're living your own experience. How do I know what you're going to see?
Right.
And really, when you really, and this is what this conversation was with our 17-year-old son, is thinking, how crazy is it that we believe that that's the truth? That we're all experiencing the same exact thing. We're all hearing the same thing.
Yeah.
We're all feeling the same thing. Maybe you are just a part of me. And the reason why you see the same thing is because I'm looking at myself, just another version of me, like a cell in a body. There's trillions of us. Mm. There's trillions of us in this world, supposedly, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we're just a body. We're just living our own experiences. And I know it gets really difficult for people. It's difficult. 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years, right?
Yeah. And that's what Beyond Limits and you guys really helped me see is that, my history. I had a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort with myself. And once I started working through all of those and releasing a lot of the emotions of those, so I can have more love and compassion for myself, that's when I realized the voice gets louder and louder.
Mm-hmm.
And because I never thought I had a voice,
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, it's like it was all Suzanne, all of it. And but yeah, that's what the Beyond Limit did for me. I recognized the voice,
Mm-hmm.
but the trust, because Suzanne's like, I don't know about that. And then Ninja, the new me is saying, listen to me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, this is you. And yeah, I hope I am where you are in 20 years because I want that voice to be loud and I want to know it and trust
And here's
it.
the thing, you're there now. I mean, listen, you're there now. It's not you're going to be, because I still have. I mean, listen, I had to work through all that.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you're trying to create. You want your perfect partner. If you want money to just show up, if you want health, you want to heal, right? You want a new truck. It's all the same formula. It's you have to raise this voice. You have to raise it up.
Yeah.
And it is the power of the miracle that you are. It is ridiculous what you can do. And here we sit there and we bitch and moan. We get so caught up in our own story. We get so caught up in the tunnel. We don't even have enough room to turn around. We talk about blind spots a lot. And blind spots, your reality. Your reality is the blind spot. You are so tunnel visioned of what you don't have, why your body hurts, why your partner doesn't fit you, why your relationships don't work. We are just walking this tunnel when in reality, it's all there outside of you. It's all there outside, not outside of you, outside of this tunnel, outside of this road. It's all there, but you just keep blowing right by it because all you're thinking of, I don't have enough money for that.
Exactly.
I will never meet my person. And you just keep going down the road like that. So what if we sit there in front of you and say, stop right now? That is a habit that is brought on by when you were a little girl, little boy, even when you were in the womb, and you got this idea because somebody voiced it somewhere.
Yeah.
You heard a voice and it was your mom saying, oh my God, I will never have the relationship. And then suddenly this fetus, I will never have the relationship. And then you live your whole life. I won't have the relationship. When in fact, it was an idea and it wasn't even there.
Yeah.
So when you can get to that spot, this blank slate, this new thing of, well, that is out there. And I can prove it because this person has it. This person has that relationship that I want. Well, then it's available. So now, if I can get you to be aware that you are creating your reality, surely you can create a person to show up for you. But first, you need to be in the energy of that person. So if we can do some breath work and we can raise your vibration, raise your energy. And listen, if I heard this 20 years ago, I would be like, all right, I'm going to shut this computer. I can't listen to this anymore. He is just batshit crazy. Get a straitjacket to wherever he is and get him in a padded room where he belongs.
Right.
But now we know too much. Now we know too much.
Yeah.
Of course we do. Because it's the great waking up. Because it's my little reality. You're having your little reality. Yeah. So it is really helping people understand the power that they are. To see things in a different perspective. To move in the direction of, because listen, it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with them. It has nothing to do with Simon. It has to do with the person is finally ready. And that voice says, come this way. And suddenly they're on a discovery call with me. That's how it works. And they listen to that voice and they say, okay, I'm ready. Because it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with time. It has to do with, are you ready to step into your new life? Yeah. Are you ready to create what you're supposed to experience instead of what you are habitually addicted to? Yeah. Are you ready to put down your pain? And are you ready to step into your joy? Are you ready to get out of your head? And are you ready to get into your heart? That's the question. That is the question. Because I show up because a voice says, come this way. And then suddenly you have the thought, or I message and it says, hey, maybe we should have a conversation. Because I am just the audience member that you are in the audience that has been screaming at you, the character who is playing the distressed girl with a crazy man behind her with a knife.
Yeah.
And I'm just that voice in the audience saying, hey, look behind you. He has a knife. And I've been doing that for 40 years. And one day you listened. One day you turned your head, you came out of character and you said, wait, what was that?
Yeah.
And that's the little signs we see. That's the little reminders. That's when we get a reading from a psychic, whatever it takes to think different. And in that moment, that's when you are being your greater self. And that's the road we all need to follow.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with the experiencer. You are the experiencer. That's
and it's funny to think back to when I first had my conversation with you. Mm-hmm. What I didn't know then was that I would actually question, well, I thought I would question you, mm-hmm. But now what I know now is that the ninja is saying, this is where you need to be. Listen to him. And I couldn't say that then, but mm-hmm. there was, I knew there was a reason that I was talking to you. I mean, I've been following you 3 years on the Dr. Joe's page before we even connected.
Yeah.
But it was just like, and back then, money financially wasn't great for us. We mm-hmm. were in the middle of pandemic. Looking back, it's like that voice was there and I didn't recognize it. Knowing now that that money would be there. Now going through everything, like you said earlier, Scott, it's the trust. Hearing, becoming aware, getting to know that new voice and trusting. Mm-hmm. And I would pay triple for the course.
Oh, well, listen, I've said that to people. If I could tell you everything that you ever dreamed of, and that is 1% of what is available to you, is through a closet door. But you have to leave everything, relationships, your clothes on your body, everything you have.
Yeah.
But all of that will be on that other side of that door. But in a way that you could never even possibly imagine, in a feeling that you could never possibly imagine, in a power that you could never possibly imagine, in a color that you could never possibly imagine. And it's right on the other side of that door.
Right. Yeah.
Do you walk through it?
Yeah.
You walk through it. And 90% of the people, maybe 99% of the people would say, well, I need to see it first. And that's, you have to trust that it's there so it can be there, because it's not there until you trust it's there.
Exactly. Yeah.
So when you go through that door, that's when it appears. That's when it shows up, because you said there has to be more than what's on this side.
Yeah.
There has to be more. And I am willing and able to put it all down and to walk through that door. It's the red pill, blue pill. Which one do I take? And it, you know, I say that to people all the time, and especially like, you know, listen, you called, and it took cancer. It took a failed relationship. It took bankruptcy. It took all these things of your life falling apart that you finally listened to the voice in the audience. And that voice in the audience is me. But I am not in the audience. I am in you.
Right.
I am the voice of Ninja.
Yeah.
Because I only show up as your experience. You are the great God.
Yeah.
Because every experience you have is your own. All the people in your life are only you. All the experiences that you live are you. They're your experience, not me. I don't exist in your world. You don't exist in my world. And if I can live that, then that means my intention of putting out there what my husband is, he's going to show up that way because he's energy. And that people don't need to get there. That's not what you want. What you want is to have the awareness of what I think is literally going to come to me. And then when you're walking down the street and you're thinking, oh my God, how am I going to pay for this? Boom, this light bulb goes off and this voice suddenly shows up and says, don't do that. Don't do that. Think the opposite, because what you think will show up for you. And that goes for environments, that goes for people, that goes for places. And that's why it becomes difficult, this great awakening for people, because they have to let go of the old ideas that have showed up for them.
Yeah.
They are living that experience right now because they thought about it 2 days ago. They thought about it 2 weeks ago. They thought about it 2 years ago. And then they were so obsessed with it, suddenly they think, oh, I don't have money. Well, because you wrote that page the day before you read it.
Right.
You wrote, I don't have money. The next day you're reading it. Oh, fuck, I don't have money. Right? Yeah. I'm experiencing right now, I don't have money. You're just reading your own writing.
Yes. And that is so true. Especially when you're in this new belief and your new awareness. It's like you totally set yourself up to not having money. You set yourself up for your car to break down because you're all nervous and you know it's really old and it's got a lot of mileage on it. Of course it's going to break down.
All around you.
Yeah.
The experience is all around you. And again, it is that waking up, and it's just following it. It's just, you know, as we say, just trust us, because something's going to happen. Something's going to show up because you're going to create it, because you're in a different energy now. You're learning what happened to you and why it doesn't matter, Simon. You're raising your energy. You're raising your frequency, M, with breath work, and you're hearing my voice saying, come this way.
Yeah.
So between the three of them, that's the power of it. When in reality, none of us exist. It is the voice of who you are that is saying, trust me, come this way. It has to come in this voice so you can have something to believe in, something to trust. People trust me. People trust him. People trust Simon. People trust the community. And when suddenly you come on the live call and you're a 4, and you hear somebody say, I'm a 10, and they start telling you the experience that they had, that's that voice saying, this exists for you. Keep coming. I know you're at a 4. A 10 exists. Keep coming this way. And then suddenly the next week you show up, oh my God, I'm a 12.
Right.
You won't believe what happened. You won't believe what showed up for me. Of course, because you let go of trying to get it to show up. And so you got out of the way.
Yeah.
So it could. And here it is. So it's just about you being ready. And whoever is watching this, I'm talking to that energy, that person. You being ready that you hear the voices around you and you move towards them instead of away from them. Because when you move towards them, that's where your new life exists. When you back away from them, that's where the habit exists. That's where the pain is. All the things that you've been trying to run from, all the things that you've been trying to heal. We hear that all the time, but you don't understand I have cancer. Well, maybe the cancer is trying to wake you up. It's an experience. It's just trying to wake you up. And it's saying, listen, come to me, go to the doctor, get the radiation, do all the things so you can see me. Go and have them tell you this isn't going to work, and then go look for alternative medicine, different ways to, maybe if I do breath work, it'll keep looking at me. Because cancer, it's not me. It's that over there that's been hiding from you all along. And that is your habitual self. That is what you learned when you were that little girl. That was you over there that was hiding under the covers when your parents fought. And that is the fear that you live in every single day. It's not me, cancer. When you see that, I magically go away. And we've watched it. We've watched science say it, where people, they die of cancer and they get cut open to find out what was the cause of death. No cancer. They died of the thought of cancer. It's the thought. And we live it milliseconds. Every millisecond, that thought of fear, that thought. If we can step out of that, oh, what shows up is I'm proof. I am proof. I move.
Yeah.
I walk. I run. I am the proof that it works.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Right.
I had no clue. I just trusted it.
Yeah.
I trusted it. I didn't say, oh my God, but what if I can never walk again? Oh my God, what if I just trusted? No, this wouldn't leave me like this. It's there for a reason. It's here to teach me something.
Yeah.
And I'm going to learn it this time. That's where we are. We're just learning that we are just part of the human experience, but we are not human. Just living the human experience. We are not human. We are greatness. We are gods. We are miracles. It's time that we all wake the fuck up.
I like that ending.